Deep-sea creatures are going through a mysterious evolution. Even right now, they're evolving into some of the weirdest and scariest beings you can imagine. Hard to believe? Just look at this. A regular squid from shallow waters and its deep-sea cousin. Even though both belong to the same species, the deep-sea one has evolved into what looks like a blood-sucking vampire. So, do creatures in the deep sea actually need to look scary to survive? Kind of, yes. And here's why. Not every fish down there looks terrifying, some are just unbelievably strange. Take the sarcastic fringehead, for example. It's only about the size of a 2-liter bottle, but when it opens its mouth, it looks big enough to swallow a human head. But this weirdness isn't random. It's a survival strategy. You might think it's just because of harsh environments, but that's not the whole story. Even land animals like cockroaches survive in scorching deserts, rainforests, and even volcano craters. Yet they don't mutate into monsters. So what makes the deep sea so special that its creatures turn completely bizarre? In 2018, researchers exploring Antarctica's deep sea spotted something shocking, what looked like a headless chicken swimming underwater. At first, they were stunned. It seemed like a Christmas turkey drifting around with no head, just one opening from which it breathed, ate, and excreted. Even stranger, small fish lived inside that opening, eating leftover scraps. Turns out, this creature was actually a sea cucumber, but one that had evolved wings or fins, so it could swim farther to find food, an adaptation to extreme scarcity at immense depths. This led scientists to wonder how many more deep-sea species might have evolved in such bizarre ways. Soon they discovered another, a crab whose single leg was almost as long as a full-grown man's height. These giant crabs were so massive that people started calling them crabzilla. But the weirdest of all was a deep-sea eel with razor-sharp teeth running down its throat. In shallow waters, eels use electric shocks to defend themselves. But deep in the ocean, they become predators, needing to grip prey tightly. So they evolved inward-facing teeth all the way to their throats to make sure nothing escaped once caught. Now here's the question. How does this evolution actually happen? How long does it take? Researchers at MIT, led by Susan Lindquist, studied a species called the Mexican tetrafish. Some of these fish live in shallow waters, while others moved into dark underground caves millions of years ago. Over time, the cave dwellers completely lost their eyesight. Lindquist found that a protein called HSP90 triggered genetic mutations responsible for these changes. When she manipulated this protein in the lab, the next generation of fish either had huge bulging eyes or no eyes at all, just like their deep-sea cousins. Why would this happen? In deep water, where no light reaches, eyes aren't useful. Instead, it's more beneficial to detect movement or vibrations in the water. So, over generations, natural selection favored those without eyes, but with stronger motion detection senses. Eventually, eyes disappeared entirely. Still, not all deep-sea creatures are blind. Some keep their eyes, even if they serve little purpose. In such cases, eyes may simply be vestigial, like a human's tailbone. Sometimes traits remain even after they stop being useful. Another strange factor is immense pressure. At great depths, organisms face crushing force. Some creatures produce special biomolecules, called piezoproteins, that keep their cells stable under pressure. Others adapt by changing their body shapes into near-spherical forms, which are naturally better at withstanding pressure. That's why some deep-sea animals look inflated or balloon-like. Many develop huge jaws too, allowing them to swallow whatever food drifts down from the surface without wasting energy hunting. These adaptations, from genetic mutations to body structure changes, make deep-sea creatures look otherworldly. But here's something psychological. Why do we find them scary at first? Fear often comes from the unknown. Our brains associate unfamiliar things with danger. Since over 95% of the deep ocean is unexplored, we rarely see these beings. Their strange appearance triggers fear simply because they exist in an environment we don't understand. If these same creatures were displayed in aquariums and we saw them often, that fear would fade. They'd stop looking terrifying once our brains categorize them as familiar instead of unknown. So, in the end, deep-sea creatures aren't trying to be scary or weird. They've just evolved in ways that help them survive the darkness, pressure, and hunger of the ocean's lowest depths. What seems monstrous to us is, in truth, nature's perfect adaptation.